Good afternoon, grade 8. Today, our lesson is about reactions with acids. This is teacher Mildred, and this is chemistry, grade 8. Last time we discussed about the difference between physical and chemical changes. Burning is an example of a chemical change. The reactions of acids is another example of a chemical change. Here are some examples of common acids in the laboratory: hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, sulfuric acid, and phosphoric acid. When these acids react with metals or an alkali, a salt is produced, and the name of the acid changes. Hydrochloric acid would become chloride if it becomes salt. Nitric acid will be changed into nitrate. Sulfuric acid would be changed into sulfate, and phosphoric acid would be changed into phosphate. The first reaction of acids is the reaction with metals. Metal reacts with acids, forming salt and hydrogen gas. The photo shows some metals reacting with acids. Examples of metals that react with acids are copper, sodium, lead, magnesium, and iron. The first reaction is between a metal and an acid to give salt plus hydrogen gas. Let us have some examples. When magnesium reacts with hydrochloric acid, you form the salt magnesium chloride. Chloride comes from the hydrochloric acid plus hydrogen gas. When zinc reacts with sulfuric acid would be changed into sulfate when it becomes salt. So the name of the salt would be zinc sulfate plus hydrogen gas. When sodium reacts with nitric acid would be changed into nitrate. So the name of the salt would be sodium nitrate plus hydrogen gas. And when iron reacts with phosphoric acid would be changed into phosphate. So the name of the salt would be iron phosphate plus hydrogen gas. We know that if a metal reacts with an acid, you form hydrogen gas. When we see bubbles forming during a chemical reaction, we know very well that the gas is being produced, but we cannot tell what kind of gas it is. The test for the presence of hydrogen gas is the lighted splint. Hydrogen gas burns with a squeaky pop with a lighted splint. To carry out the test, you need to light a splint and place it in the mouth of the tube. You need to keep your finger over the end of the test tube until the last moment or you will have no hydrogen left to test. This is because hydrogen gas is a lot lighter than air. The second reaction of acids is with metal oxides and metal hydroxides. When a metal oxide reacts with acid, the products would be salt and water. The same case when a metal hydroxide reacts with an acid, you also form salt and water. For example, hydrochloric acid reacting with sodium hydroxide. Since you use hydrochloric acid, the name of the salt would be sodium chloride plus water. Let us have some examples. Sodium hydroxide plus nitric acid would give you the salt sodium nitrate plus water. Again, the salt contains the nitrate group because of the nitric acid. When magnesium hydroxide reacts with phosphoric acid, the name of the salt would be magnesium phosphate. The phosphate comes from the phosphoric acid. On the other hand, if zinc oxide reacts with hydrochloric acid, the name of the salt will be zinc chloride plus water. Barium oxide plus sulfuric acid would give you the salt barium sulfate because of the sulfuric acid and water. And when copper oxide reacts with nitric acid, the name of the salt will be copper nitrate because of the acid that was used, which is nitric acid and water. Here are other examples of metal hydroxides reacting with acid. Potassium hydroxide plus sulfuric acid would give you the salt potassium sulfate plus water. Sodium hydroxide reacting with hydrochloric acid would give you the salt sodium chloride plus water. The third reaction of acids is with metal carbonates. When a metal carbonate reacts with acid, the products would be a salt, water, and carbon dioxide. For example, calcium carbonate reacting with hydrochloric acid would give you the salt, which is calcium chloride, because the acid that was used is hydrochloric acid plus water plus carbon dioxide. Let us have some examples. Calcium carbonate plus hydrochloric acid, as what I had mentioned earlier, would give you the salt calcium chloride plus water plus carbon dioxide. When sodium carbonate reacts with sulfuric acid, the name of the salt would be sodium sulfate because the acid that we use is sulfuric acid, plus the other two products, which are water and carbon dioxide. And when magnesium carbonate reacts with phosphoric acid, the name of the salt would be magnesium phosphate plus carbon dioxide gas plus water. Here is another example of a metal carbonate reacting with an acid. Sodium carbonate reacting with hydrochloric acid would also give you sodium chloride, water plus carbon dioxide. The gas that you produce when a metal carbonate reacts with an acid is carbon dioxide. What is the test for the presence of carbon dioxide? To test for the presence of carbon dioxide gas, we use lime water. The lime water will turn from colorless to cloudy or milky. When carbon dioxide gas is produced, the lime water, which is colorless, will be turned into cloudy. It is an indication of the presence of carbon dioxide gas. And that is the end of the lesson about the reactions with acids. Let us now summarize the key reactions with acids. When an acid reacts with a metal, you produce salt plus hydrogen gas. When an acid reacts with a metal oxide, you form salt plus water. When an acid reacts with metal hydroxide, you form salt and water. And when an acid reacts with metal carbonate, you produce salt, water, and carbon dioxide gas. The test for the presence of hydrogen gas is the lighted splint. If hydrogen gas is present, then the lighted splint would produce a squeaky pop. And the test for the presence of carbon dioxide gas is the lime water. In the presence of carbon dioxide gas, the lime water will turn from colorless to milky.